He said he had risen to the rank of colonel in the elite guard. Oh, shit. All right. Story kind of took a turn for the worse. Patients tend to confess their deepest, darkest secrets when they know it's their time to go. So let's read some crazy patient deathbed confessions. This first story is from Nilfi Alvarado when he was a nursing student. When I was in school, I was shadowing an ICU nurse and we were taking care of an elderly woman dying of brain cancer. One day, when her family went home for the night and we were getting her ready for bed, she randomly blurts out, "Should I tell him they're not his?" Woo! Starting off strong. She was referring to her children and husband who had just left. She elaborated and told us that their 2 children are both another man's kids. Not just any man's, but her husband's childhood best friend. What made this even crazier was that her children were probably 50 years old. I have no idea how this stayed a secret for so long. Is she gonna tell them? Fast forward to the next morning and I see an unfamiliar older gentleman in her room. Is it him? Before I said anything to anyone, the other nurse whispered to me that he is the husband's childhood best friend. Son of a bitch, there he is. I don't know whether or not they were still messing around, but I don't think I've ever seen a secret 50-year-old love triangle. How is this possible? Also, does the best friend know that he has 2 kids? Does he not see that maybe they look like him? What? Her kids are 50. She's gotta be close to 70. How does she live for that long with a secret like that?
My heart is getting stronger every day.
If I had a secret like that, I would feel so guilty. I would be dead by 40. There's no way. Stress is a big factor in causing health problems, if you didn't already know that.
You're stressed.
You're stressed.
This is pretty wild, okay? When patients know they don't have enough time left, they will confess some of their deepest, darkest secrets. But in this case, I think it might be best for her just to take this to her grave. I don't think anyone needs to know this. It's too late. Even if you said something, would they believe you? This is crazy. It's always the ones that tell you not to worry about, gentlemen. These hoes ain't loyal. Play Chris Brown. This next story comes from Steve Fortuna, who was a former EMT in New York City. From 1976 to 1982, I worked around NYU part-time as an EMT for FDNY Ladder 20 in southeastern Manhattan. I remember going on one call one winter, about 2 to 3 a.m., when an older European man in his late 70s was dying of COPD and heart failure. He lived alone with 1 cat, which hadn't been fed in a while. Yes, that's what happens when you get old and you start to die. The pets suffer. When we arrived, he was almost unresponsive with a weak pulse and shallow respirations. We attended him, took his vitals, and started to strap him into the gurney. Grandpa's going to the hospital. There was a Catholic crucifix on one wall next to some old pictures of German castles, street scenes, and cross-country skiing parties. The man had a soft, vague, and mostly discarded accent which might have been German, Austrian, Swiss, or maybe Hungarian. Wow, the details. Good job, EMT. He told my partner he knew his time was coming and he wanted to die at home. Yes, it happens a lot. Old people in the hospitals, they don't really like staying there. They really like being at home. They'll fight you tooth and nail to get home. They don't like to be admitted to the hospitals once they come to the ER. They fucking hate that shit. Like, take me home. To delay us taking him to the hospital, he told my partner to look into a corner closet and take out a brass and leather trunk. Inside the trunk were 4 magnificent German hand-carved boar and staghorn hunting knives with ornate, deeply etched blades of finest Prussian steel, some metals, including an iron cross, rings, and papers. Seriously, the details on the story, Mr. EMT. Who are you? He told us we could have the contents and that his name was Dietrich. He said he had risen to the rank of colonel in the elite Nazi guard. Oh shit. All right. Story kind of took a turn for the worse.
Yeah.
He told us through hypoxic rattling gasps that in 1942, he ordered and supervised the murder of over 4,000 civilians, mainly women and children, somewhere in Hungary. Oh dear, this old man is a killer. He said he was never charged with war crimes and escaped the Nuremberg war crime trials because the Hungarian army, acting under SS auspices, directly participated and was responsible. Son of a bitch. What? There were no witnesses or paperwork to tie his orders directly to the SS. He told it without emotion, without deception, as if he was telling you where he had parked his car. He had kept that secret for 40 years and needed to release it like a confessional before he died. Holy shit, the man is a mass murderer. We got him into the ambulance, but he was DOA by the time we got to the ER at Beth Israel. My partner and I each grabbed one of the hunting knives. I was struck by how easily it was to talk about and confess the most horrible deeds to a perfect stranger once he knew there would be no repercussions. Makes me realize we are just a hair's breadth away from being monsters. Wow. Okay, first of all, Mr. EMT, this is a fucking beautifully written novel. I don't know who you are, but you should be writing books. The details were immaculate. Second of all, dude, this is a fucking Nazi. Not just any Nazi, a colonel. Maybe he didn't want to go to the hospital because it's named Beth Israel and he's a Nazi. Anyways, we don't mourn Nazis here, so moving on. Good story.
Nazi bastard.
Our last story comes from Aubrey Lewis, who heard it from her friend, a hospice nurse. A friend of mine who's been a long-time nurse in a hospice shared a heart-touching story with me. She was caring for an elderly lady in her final days. The woman was often visited by her loving family, including her devoted husband and their 3 grown children. I can already guess what this is gonna be about. The children aren't his.
Wait, there's more.
One night, when the family had left and the ward was quiet, the woman confided something quite unexpected in my friend. She revealed that before marrying her husband, she had a brief but passionate love affair with a young artist in Paris. I knew it. Her kids are French.
French.
She always considered it her life's greatest romance, but had to end it due to family pressures. She never saw him again after leaving Paris. The confession was not of infidelity or hidden offspring, but of a lost love that she carried in her heart all her life. Aww. The next day, my friend noticed an old, faded painting in the woman's room. It turned out to be a portrait of her, done by that very artist during her youth in Paris. This revelation added a layer of depth to her story, making it all the more poignant. Oh, okay. Bitches are loyal. That's so interesting. She carried it everywhere she went. Makes you wonder how often women think about the ones that got away. Is that what you guys are doing? Just thinking about your passionate love affair in Paris while you're married to your husbands? Is that what you guys are doing?
It's been 84 years.
I'm just kidding. Ladies, I love you all. If you've ever heard of a crazy or shocking deathbed confession by a patient, comment below. Let's hear it. I am currently on tour. Ticket links and dates are in my bio. I hope to see you there, motherfuckers. Bye. She was referring to her children's... Did we say that? No, I shouldn't say that. Cut that. Strike that.
Yeah, that was much better.
Yeah, I liked it better. Once he knew, there would be no repercussions. Repercussions.
Yeah, were you doing a bit or were you struggling to say the word repercussions?
I think I was just going with it.